Watch our boy chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a man-eater. That's at HBCU. Shout out to Grambling State University. Oh, here she comes. Watch our boy chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a man-eater, baby. Yeah. What y'all know about that Hall of Notes? Look, it's your man Rico the Opinionist, and welcome to my Sunday brunch and chat. So go ahead. Some of you made it out of church. Wait a minute. I think only Catholics get out this early. Well, I know some of you probably still in church service and can't wait for the preach to close for the third time. But so y'all will probably be out of church maybe 1 or 2 o'clock, maybe 3. Depends on if it's Church of God in Christ or is it AME. It depends on what church it is. However, the rest of us are enjoying the beginning of the brunch when the chicken and waffles are still fresh out of the skillet or toaster oven or whatever, freshly scrambled eggs and the sausage and the turkey sausage, and you know we're already in the restaurant. So well, I'm out here chilling. But anyway, y'all, my 2 topics today. I'm gonna do two quick topics because a lot of things kind of hit my mind. And again, please like, share, and subscribe to this Facebook group, as well as my YouTube channel, Rico the Opinionist, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I'm all over the place, Rico the Opinionist. And please check out my the description box in the YouTube channel, right? And when you check it out, you'll notice that I have my PDF formatted little short story that I wrote. It's only 50 pages. Pretty good reading for what people have told me. It's called The Greatest Pain Ever Felt, Conversation with Absent Biological Father Who Never Wanted to Be Found. It's only $10, $sign Rico the Opinionist, cash at me. It's all this in the description box. So if should you decide to purchase the book or hit your boy on the Cash App just because, hey, Rico, we like your Sunday brunch chat, still feel free. But if you want to purchase the PDF formatted short story, please send me an email address. As soon as you when you send your payment, send me an email address with that payment, and I got you, I swear. So anyway, today it's like 71 degrees and beautiful crisp day. What was that, Shayna? Hey Shayna, what's up? What's good? And so I want to talk about 2 quick subjects. The first topic of my just want to share my opinion on, as I was listening to the Black Authority on his live, and I recommend a lot of people go check him out, the Black Authority, on Facebook and Twitter. But Facebook is, YouTube, and he has a lot of good stories. He has a lot of facts and figures, and I just happened to be I caught like the middle of it. And I can't remember which one it was because I tried to go back and find it, because I don't think this is the title of the YouTube live. But in that live, he brought up the question. He brought up the subject of the Democratic Party and black colleges and HBCUs. Now, I'm going to warn you, he's not a huge fan of black colleges at all. But I listen to all information. And because some things that they say about HBCUs, especially today, they're true. It's true. But also I want to connect this topic with this wonderful Facebook post that's going around. Someone shared it from the brother who went to Grambling. His name is War G. What's up, War G? It's your man Rico. Yeah, I saw it. It's getting around. It was placed in the Grambling State University Alumni Support Group. And it had a picture of, I don't know if it was Grambling, but it says, this is how lit my campus was when I was a freshman or something like that. And it shows a lot of people in front of the student union and cars up and down the street. And so a lot of people have been commenting on it because it takes us back to when we attended the HBCU back in the 80s and very early 90s. Because I'm here to tell you, I think after 95, really after 96, the culture of HBCU started changing, and I don't think for the better. And so Now, when you go to these campuses, so let's go back to what the Black Authority was talking about. Or Professor Black, the Black Authority. Hold on, let me cross the street first, because y'all know I do a little strolling as I have a conversation. Let these cars go. Like they're about to have a baseball game today. Kind of energetic out here, so I'm going to find me somewhere and have a seat. I'm not going to be walking around like this, because these cars are rolling right now. It's a perfect day for a barbecue. Hold on one second, y'all. But anyway, I probably should have bought me a bottle of water, too. But anyway, okay. So, he was talking about, he brought up the question, and he also took some calls where people thought about HBCUs mainly. Do you think that they are a breeding ground for the Democratic Party? And I had to go back when I was at Grambling from 89 to 94. That was my undergraduate, but I stayed at Grambling State University from 94 to 96. And for graduate school, shout out to the MSW program, the social work grad program, and Adams Hall. Shout out. And so, but mainly it's undergrad. That 89 to 91, 92, it was serious. I mean, Grambling would sometimes have up to like 8,500 to 9,000 students there. We'd just be all over the place. Wayne Bradley, what's up? And so, I appreciated that post that was going around. I appreciate it a lot. And I had a blast there. And everyone that commented say they had a blast. And Grambling State University was different. And I remember one time they had us all registering to vote, those of us who are out of town, registering to vote so we can vote against David Duke. So Grambling has always been pretty much like a Democratic kind of campus. And most HBCUs, where black folks are, it's going to be Democratic. But what has happened within the last 20 years at HBCUs is not what was going on when I was a student. And to answer the Black Authority's question, I would have to say yes. The black HBCUs have become breeding farms for the Democratic Party. And they go because of the numbers. Y'all know that HBCUs, there's always 4 times more women than men. And we're talking about HBCUs now, black women. They outnumber about 4 times on average at these black colleges. And so, y'all already know the politics of black women is Democrat. So they come straight to the HBCUs. And if you've gone on any average from Howard University to Morehouse to Spelman, you go to any HBCU, guess what their main issues are, what they talk about mainly. And I haven't been on Grambling's campus as a student for 30 years, since 1996. But I can read the temperature of society. And you can also look at the products that are coming out of there. And also, how what they choose to represent the most. And the main 2 issues that the students probably talk about is LGBT and feminist views. When I was a student at Grambling State University, which I loved, Grambling State University, because the post is about, it's going around, is about Grambling State. But I would say it is connected to the other HBCUs. Black culture is really thick back then. Even though we came from all over the world and other countries, black culture was really thick at Grambling State University. Meaning, unlike the way it is now, when they present HBCUs, they only show girls, they only show the fraternities. They'll show the band, but they never ever show in any advertisement for HBCUs. They always show fraternities, sororities. If they got a Mexican there, if they got a Caucasian there, they'll show that. That goes into that diversity and inclusion and equity crap. And so, but the one group that they never show in any of the HBCUs when they're trying to advertise or talk about the culture of black colleges, they never show people like me. They never show people like a Shannon Reeves. Shannon Reeves, who's done astronomically in his life. Shout out to Shannon Reeves. Shannon Reeves was one of the few, if not the only, outward and outspoken. He was a Republican. Him, I think, and Stacey Lincoln. Y'all remember Stacey Lincoln? I think she's on under Republican. But they never show that aspect of black colleges, that it was really diverse. The only thing they show on black college when they want to talk about black colleges is the fraternities, sororities, the band, and they'll show the little dancing girls. But then when they start showing like the students, they show a black chick, they show a Mexican, and they'll show if there's an Asian there, they'll show all the other colors. And they show a black male, he's usually an athlete or gay. They don't show people like me. They don't show black consciousness on these black college campuses. And I know for a fact it's not going on at these black college campuses. And I know for a fact it's not going on at Grambling State University, because people like me and others like the gods and goddesses of the earth and 5% Nation and the Nation of Islam Student Association and gods and goddesses, sons and daughters of Imhotep, the conscious community. They never show the conscious community, because the conscious community and people like me, outspoken real activists who call the administration and other students out on their shit, they don't ever advertise us. As a matter of fact, Grambling State has a new library. They did this mural of all of these people, I guess, who made significant strides at Grambling State University. They got rappers. They got, of course, they got the legends of like Eddie Robinson. He belongs there. They have the old scholars. They belong there. But what I noticed in the student body, the only people they had on there represented were members of black fraternities, of the fraternities and sororities. They didn't have not one black conscious student represented in the wall in the library. Go check it out. And you see all those people. Of course, you got the Grambling legends on there, Eddie Robinson and older professors and the older coaches, Coach Fred Hobby and people like that. Hell, even E40's on there. I think E40 went for a semester, and E40 even received his doctors of letters in education at Grambling. I learned that those are given out when you give like significant donations to the school. So I don't take much, put too much stock in that. But congratulations to E40 on receiving that anyway, because Whitney Houston received all people. Maya Angelou's received one, so that's awesome. But I noticed that the black conscious students were not represented in their mural. And it's the black consciousness that kept this university balanced. It was people like me and brothers by the name of Lamar Shields and Hank Garner and Angela Michelle Davis and Kababi and all these other folks who we were part of groups called the Unity Committee. Then it was me. I was my own force. Me, yeah, again, the gods and goddesses of the earth. You had the sons and daughters of Imhotep, the Nation of Islam Student Association. Who's Fred Jones? Fred said... Fred Powell. I remember Fred Powell. He's on the Grambling night. Yeah, shout out. Yeah, we had a lot of conscious and the Nation of Islam Student Association. And it was like hundreds of us there, like up to 600-700, maybe not that. We were thick, and that kept the administration on their ass. But I realized that after 96, the conscious community was gone at Grambling State University, and the conscious community is gone at HBCUs. So when you ask Ev and Zoltan Chancellor, that's right, Zoltan, thank you. Zoltan and Black to the Basics bookstore. It's a lot of them. Erica was there, and yeah, she was with the sons and daughters or the gods and goddesses. It was a conscious community. Now, I think Erica's on the wall based on her celebrity, but not because of her works in the conscious community there in Grambling. And so I looked at that wall. I said, well, damn, isn't that something? And let you know, but the very people who commissioned that wall are the very people who are against people like me and those of us who brought consciousness and awareness to the campus. It wasn't the SGA president. It wasn't the freshman class president. It wasn't Miss Grambling. It was the conscious community. They brought the moral balance to the university, and they hated us. They wish they could have kicked us all out, and they tried to. For me, at least 2 or 3 times in the conscious community, they did a wide swoop a wide sweep to get them out of there. And so I guess the question should also be, what is it about black consciousness that black people, mainly the Greek affiliated and the church-going Christian folks, what do they hate about us so? Why are we the thorn in the side and not the white racists and the drug dealers and those folks? However, the Black Authority asked the question, are HBCUs breeding grounds for the Democratic Party? And I'm here to say yes, because there isn't a balance or equal representation of thought at HBCUs anymore. If you're not talking about LGBT, immigrant rights, and feminism, you're not included in the conversation. I could be debated all day long, even at Grambling State University, and we're talking about blackness at colleges. Why are there so many white professors there? How you know, I was very fortunate. Let me finish that. You know that a lot of black consciousness is not being spread when at least 60% of your faculty there teaching these black students are white and others. Now, we had a few white folks there too. It was a blend, but the bulk of our professors were black, and they weren't Oreo blacks. They were conscientious black professors that told us about our purpose and why we're there and why black colleges were created in the first place. But now I think they're a bunch of post-racial black students today, and you have consciousness on the campus. It's probably maybe 5 or 6 people who are conscious, but it's not that mass. That's not that bulk of majority of that big representation that was there when I was a student there from 89 to 92. No, and I graduated in 94, but really between 89 and 90, about 92, 93. That's when we were there strong, had the campus, on lock. All the debates, we was there, rocking it. We were trying to, spread the word about Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Brother Dale Jones. We were talking about Sheikh Berishango. We were talking about all of the consciousness. Dr. Julia Hare, we were bringing the consciousness, and we also bringing the protests. We was bringing the activism, because there wasn't no SGA, wasn't no Black Greece doing no activism on campus. Zoltan Chansey had the Black to the Basics bookstore. It's there now. And he's been trying to work and make sure it maintains there. But, you don't have enough conscious students there to recognize the historical significance and the importance of its presence there right off campus. So shout out to Black to the Basics. Shout out to my man Zoltan for trying to bring consciousness, even in this form of a bookstore, there to Grambling State University. And I think what they're talking now is this Obama post-racial foolishness. And black colleges are still not respected. And so you have a lot of these people going to these black schools expecting to get the black experience. But they don't have the true black experience. You can't have the black experience or the black culture experience at an HBCU, and you don't have a nice amount of black consciousness. See, for me, a lot of these black colleges are not. Let me start over. For me, a lot of these black colleges are nothing but white colleges in blackface, because they don't talk about consciousness. Because it'll be a lot more debates going on, real debates. And they won't be claiming a political party per se without debate. But nah, it's just the way these administration likes it. They like to control the students. They like to dictate how the students should think. They present everything. And that's the way they like it. When we left, that was, let me tell y'all something. When I graduated with my undergrad degree in 94, a lot of professors and members of the administration, including the president, they were they were dancing a jig. And when I ended up coming back that fall 1994 to begin my work on my master's degree, and they started seeing me on campus, they're like, "Oh shit, you here? You still here?" They were literally shocked, and it was like they had seen a ghost. That's how bad, quote unquote, bad I was. They're like, "Damn!" And guess what? It didn't stop, because I guess I continued the same thing in graduate school. But hold on a minute, Wayne. What are you saying? They talk about the culture. What is that? Is that just a saying? Yeah, the great question, Wayne. What is the culture? Well, they have to ask people like you, and they have to ask people like me what black culture is on an HBCU. A lot of these folks don't know. They think what's shown in these weird shows that they watch, that's the culture. What is the culture? Based on BET, it's a bunch of lesbianism, thugism, broken English and foolishness and flashiness. But for us, the culture was remembering our ancestors who made it possible for us to flourish at HBCUs. And we had people like Attorney Thomas Todd used to come there. We had Lyceum, we had Convocation, they had cultural events that reminded us of our blackness, and also that encouraged us to have campus conversations all the time. So for anybody to ask, are they doing the same thing that we used to do? No, because the administration is not that same administration. And then the way they recruit, I don't think they recruit these cool folks to come from New York, and we need a lot of East Coast folks. I think they have a lot of down south people there, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, a few Chicago people, but it wasn't as thick as it was when I was a student at Grambling. And so is Grambling State University, are HBCUs breeding farms for the Democratic Party? And I have to say yes, due to what I said earlier. Black women at HBCUs outnumber the men 4-1. And so the Democratic Party mainly caters to who? Black women. And the issues of the Democratic Party are feminism / LGBT and immigrants. It has nothing to do with black men, heterosexual black men, or black boys. So yes, they'll go to HBCUs. And then the black men who are Democrats only try to curry favor with the women. Or they're the sons of mothers and grandmothers who damn near threaten them if they don't vote Democrat. So when you go on these HBCU campuses, hold on a second, you do see a lot of black faces, but up here, are they black up here? So that for me is the question, as well as what the Black Authority was asking. And I think, and my answer to that is yes, they are. The black colleges, a lot of them are so busy trying to be accepted by the mainstream and so busy trying to get this money and not be looked at as no racist or any of that they're literally pouring as much cream into the black coffee to dilute its original taste, its original strength. And that's what's happening. Southern University had about 5 very qualified black men. They had a female in there too, but black men who could be their next chancellor or president. And those guys had PhDs. They had been vice president for student affairs at other HBCUs, or professors, or dean of students. They knew HBCUs from top to bottom. But they picked a black dude from a white college who was over diversity and inclusion. That's who Southern University chose as their next president last year, year before last. Because HBCUs, they are trading their blackness off to get these dollars, right? So y'all know what diversity and inclusion is, right? Homosexuality. They chose the dude who can bridge the gap, bring in more homosexuals and have a section for homosexuals, LGBT. And that's what they chose over actual qualified and scholarly black men with PhDs who knew HBCUs from the dirt to the roof. They knew the history, but they chose a black guy from a white school who was director of diversity and inclusion. Y'all let that sink in. But of course, Rico don't know what he's talking about. I'm a hater again. Blah, 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 blah. He hating on Greeks again. I know. Y'all know I'm over that shit, because I'm going to keep telling the truth. And that was a good question that the Black Authority posed. That's what they did. And Grambling State University is heading in that direction. When I see the Grambling 1901, at first I was saying, like, damn, do black males graduate from Grambling? Every time I looked around, it was always girls, girls, girls. Something about black females. They never had any black males. And even before COVID, 2018 or 19, I had to wear a shirt on campus that says diversity means death to black colleges. And then I had on a shirt that says, where are the black males? Because, and we'll go back to it. Y'all remember that big controversy? When it wasn't a controversy until I pointed it out. That the Student Government Association on their own website, allegedly, supposedly through them, but it had to be approved, put out a flyer trying to advertise Grambling, but they had a white female, a white male, they say he was Mexican, and a black female. And they're supposed to represent Grambling State University. So I asked, where the hell is the black male? How you gonna have a black college and not have a black male in the advertisement? That, me pointing out that pink elephant, It caused a lot of controversy. Then they want to have all kinds of excuses. Let me tell you the dumb shit the young lady said, and people backed her up. Well, we had a call for people to come out to take the photo, but no black men showed up for the call. And let me take my shades off. Y'all really think people are stupid? Because one thing I know, black people, they pay for what they want and they beg for what they need. So you gonna tell me that HBCU, you got at least 15 to 1,800, if not 2,000 black males crawling all up around Grambling State University. You who's organizing that photo shoot, you could have pulled a black dude out of the CAF, out of the student union, walking to class, walking in the village, nowhere around and say, hey, we're putting together this flyer for Grambling, and we can really use some black male representation. You had your choice of 300 on any day of black men, but you told the world on that Grambling Facebook group that did no black male show up. Y'all get out of here. I'm telling you, I was born in the morning, but not this morning, goddammit. And see, for people to believe that, it lets me know about this cognitive dissonance or this misandrous attitude when it comes to black males. Nobody likes black males. And they don't care if you include it or not. They still gonna push this black thing without black males. And I wasn't having it. Yeah, a lot of people got upset. And there's a lot of black students read my shirt that said, when I had on that same picture they had on the Facebook, on their Facebook page, and they had I screenshot the picture, put the white female, the white Mexican, and the black female, and I wrote at the top, where's the black male? And the students just looked at me like, what's that? People read it, but they didn't say anything about it. How come when y'all see something, when a mirror's pointing in your face, you don't respond? I didn't get not one, I saw people looking at it and reading, they're like, oh, well, how come he say that? I was reading their facial expressions. These were some of the students. And on the back of my shirt, it says, diversity means death to black colleges. And I mean that. Howard University, 40% Caucasian. Bluefield State, about 60% white folks. Lincoln University in Jefferson City, Missouri. Here, might well call it a historically white college now. And a lot of these black colleges are falling by the wayside because they're too lazy to get some alternative funding. So they around here literally begging white students to come to HBCUs. Where they do that at? They start recruiting black kids and try to get Mexicans and whites to come to their school because they won't do the proper recruiting. But that's another conversation. So what do you think? Tell the truth. You ain't know. Even if you don't like me or like my philosophy, I still want you to tell the truth. Are HBCUs falling off when it comes to blackness? No, I'm sorry. Have they fallen off when it comes to blackness, black culture, who we are, and the reason why HBCUs were created in the first place? And for all you diversity black folks, Grambling State University, Howard, Hampton, Southern, Mississippi Valley, Alcorn, Tougaloo. Why are we charged with diversity when we weren't included when they created colleges in the first place? Why is it that black people have to always be the ones charged with bringing folks together? Intersectionality. Why the fuck we have to be charged with waving the flag of inclusion when we weren't even included in the first damn place? I need you college-educated blacks to explain that to me. I really do, because the foolishness is real. And so, great question, Black Authority. I appreciated it. The Democratic Party don't care nothing about they don't care nothing about black heterosexual masculine black men and black boys. They don't care about the plight of us in this country. That's why I always try to tell black men, please, we have to become a unified, independent voting bloc. Because Democratic, Republican, they don't care. And at these black colleges, black consciousness is not wanted. Because in that mural at Grambling State University right now, my picture be up there bigger than E40s. Because for at least 4 years, I know I shaped the thought. I shaped the opinions of my university. I know I did. I wouldn't admit it because a lot of people say, damn, Rico, even 30 years later, 25 years later, people are still talking about that damn newsletter. And how they say, Rico, you were right. Now, during that time, we were all 20 and 21, 19 and shit, 18. Rico, why you saying that? That's bullshit. Why blah 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 blah? Why you say it's about my pastor, my fraternity, my professor? Why? No, they was going in. But now that we're all grown and people got kids and some got grandkids, they like, man, that dude was telling the truth. And we didn't want to hear it back then. So yeah, I think my mural, my picture should be bigger. No, it should be bigger than E40s. It should be bigger than a lot of folks. And then also, I think there should be a separate mural for social activism consciousness. The people I name on there, mine should be with them as well. I should have my own. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I should have my own area, but also they should have a mural or a section in the library that talked about social activism and consciousness. The gods and goddesses of the earth, sons and daughters of Imhotep, the Nation of Islam Student Association, the 5% Nation Brothers. They should have a section over there that talked about social activism, real social consciousness, and black consciousness. That should be a total separate section in that library, acknowledging us as well. Don't penalize us because we weren't Democrats. Don't penalize us because we weren't black members of black letter organizations. Don't penalize us for that. You know, we should be celebrated or acknowledged just like everybody else. And I guess in order for that to happen, all those conscious groups and all of us, those who were kicked out, try to tell the truth. People who they tried to kick out for telling the truth and speaking our minds. You know, and there was a lot of black men, along with a lot of sisters who got down. But you know, you don't want to acknowledge us because I guess we don't have a hit CD, or we didn't rap, or we didn't join a professional sporting league, NFL or NBA. You know, I guess we don't matter. But in my opinion, we mattered the most because we shaped the consciousness of the campus, and that is what's missing at these HBCUs. They don't want people like me on their campus. Any young man or young woman that sounds like me on a black college campus, he's automatically ostracized and attacked. I know this because there was a young lady who dared to sound like me who addressed the Grambling alumni group, and they ripped her to shreds. I ended up apologizing to that young lady. She probably graduated, but I think she's still a student at Grambling State University right now. And the Grambling alumni group know what I'm talking about. She said, y'all alumni always talking about us, but y'all don't ever come to us and talk to us on campus. No, why don't y'all come here? And all of a sudden, she started getting all this backlash. A student now from these old fuckers of the Grambling alumni group. They said, well, what we supposed to do, come down and hold y'all hand? What y'all want to do, come down and tell? Oh, they talk real smart to this young lady. And I screenshot all the comments, too. I still have them. This happened, what, a couple of years ago or something like that. Yeah, they went in on this young lady, and I found her information. I sent her an instant message on Messenger. So I apologize. That's not how we all think. That's not even the mass majority. It's just those few folks who only love football. And that lets you know that attitude, that dismissive attitude, is not that of all of us who are alumni. And I told her continue to be great. Matter of fact, she's majoring in cyberspace securities at Grambling. I think if I can go back and find it, that exchange from us. I forget her name, but yeah, a young lady, young black female. You know how y'all say protect black girls, black girl magic, but y'all didn't protect that black girl who came to you as a student, telling you about yourself. I just asked a question. But so anyway, black consciousness is not allowed on black campuses anymore. They only want this wokeness that developed after Donald Trump was elected. But before then, I'm telling you, before this wokeness of 2016. There was African-centered consciousness. In the 80s, even those who went to Grambling in the 80s can tell you that the conscious community was thick. And when I got there, thick. I remember when the conscious community marched up to President Johnson, Joe B. Johnson's, the president's house up on Grambling's campus. Man, I knew it had to be about 50 to 100 of us that night, like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Marched up to the house, and Greg Gibson, Dave Gibson, and Vanetta Gibson. Yeah, they led the charge. Boom, 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 boom. Joseph Johnson, President Joseph B. Johnson, loved that guy. He answered the door. He came out on the porch and had a conversation. It's about 9:30 at night, 10:30, 10 o'clock. That could never happen. Because these presidents are so protected, so bougie, and so out of touch, they would never do that. So yeah, is the HBCUs democratic breeding grounds at HBCUs? Recruitment centers, yes. There's also recruitment for LGBT and feminist policies. But let me move on to my next topic. Y'all ready? Y'all can cut this part and clip it if you want to. Just make sure you give my credit. My next topic was utopian blacks. These utopian blacks get on my nerves. And I also refer to them as multicultural blacks, intersectionist blacks, integrationist blacks. But these utopian blacks, all that diversity and inclusion blacks. And I say these people get on my nerves because they remind me of the slaves who snitched on Nat Turner, who snitched on Harriet. Whenever a rebellious slave stood up against the powers that be, the comfortable slaves will come out against them. Example. Whenever Marcus Garvey came out and spoke true to power, they had this mulatto, biracial, comfortable Negro by the name of W.B. Du Bois that came out and spoke out against him. Malcolm X tried to speak the truth, but they had Dr. King and those other integrationist black Greeks that came out and spoke out against Malcolm, or anybody that talked about independence, black independence and black freedom. So now you have those groups, the multiculturalists and the intersectionists and the multiracial Negroes. Then you got what's called these utopian blacks. And if you want to know who each of these black people are, let's mention something that will cause you to almost risk your life to get. And that's when these utopian and multiracial blacks start chiming in. And the word is reparations. Y'all know that reparations become like on the front page of a lot of conversations, right? And it's becoming more. Back in the day, they had it real thick in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, but then it fell off. But in the last 5 years, 3 to 5 years, it's been becoming more of a conversation because more people like me are popping up out of nowhere asking these politicians. So I heard all your ramblings about everything else, immigrants, LGBT, and all this. So what about reparations for this debt that's owed to foundational black Americans, American descendants of slaves? What about reparations? And then watch how your Democratic candidates do that Harlem shuffle. Shuffling backwards and doing a little jig. No, master, I ain't gonna answer that. No, we don't need no reparations. And every black Democrat that you ask them, they'll say, what we need is we need education. We need foundations created for what? We already got education here. A lot of us got degrees, college degrees, high school diplomas. What you mean? We don't need no damn education. We have libraries. That's what they'll say. Then these utopian blacks start, they go religious. Well, we don't need no reparations. What we need to do is get in line with God. and we're all one people. Race is a social construct. Listen, when they say that bullshit, race is a social construct. And in reality, we all one race. We all one human beings, all this shit. I said, you know what? Theoretically, that could be true, but I don't live in theory. I don't live ideally. I live realistically. That race shit, that only works on behalf of the dominant society. As long as you keep saying, well, we all one race. We all bleed the same red blood. But guess who else bleed red blood? You humanists, or whatever you want to refer yourselves, you utopian blacks. Rats bleed red blood too, so you compare yourself to a rat, a rodent. Dogs bleed red blood too, so you a dog too? Shut the fuck up, please. So next, just to avoid the reparations conversation, you'll come up with anything other than just say because you're afraid to say yes. Black people deserve, and that debt should have been paid. Hell, even Dr. King understood it, who y'all hold up so high. Even he recognized in the end, you were giving white farmers, low-interest loans and to mechanize their farms. You tell the black farmers to pick themselves up by their bootstraps. You're giving free interest loans. And so when we march to Washington, we're not asking for integration. We're asking, where's our check? Dr. King, the video is on YouTube. But this is 1967, 68, Dr. King. Not that 1965 or 1964, I Have a Dream, Dr. King. No. It's not the McDonald's white corporate sponsored Dr. King. He even asked to the world, to America, where's our check? So here you are, utopian blacks, because maybe you got a white wife, you got a white husband, you got a Mexican boyfriend, or you got mixed kids and all that shit. And so you got biracial kids, so you don't want to talk about that because it brings up race. I don't want to talk about race because my grandfather's father's mother was white. My granddad's aunties are Indian. So I don't want to talk about race. Oh, y'all are hilarious. But one thing you don't do when Jews talk about their reparations, we ever talk about, you know what, we're all one human race, Malkovich or Steinberg, we're all one race, and no one deserves reparations because in God's eyes, we're all one people, and we've all race. And this, let me tell you, a Negro told me, all people have been oppressed, all people have made slaves. See how you dilute the topic? That debt is to be paid for African Americans who were put through 300 years of chattel slavery, plus 100 more years of systematic discrimination called Jim Crow. Black folks for 100 years under Jim Crow laws were being taxed while they were being discriminated against. Did y'all know that? Told you can't sit here, you can't vote here, gave them dirty books, old books, white and black water fountains. See, they paid tax dollars for these white people's racism. They paid taxes. Still going to stores. They weren't allowed to go to all the stores. So that was, for me, segregation was economically great for blacks. Your money turned over at least 8-9 times in your community. But somehow, these integrationists came in talking about some social integration. Instead of black pride and separation, but demanding that the United States pay us our equal share. So here we are. We need a debt paid. If somebody owes you some money, do you not stop asking them? Somebody can owe y'all $5. Y'all be hounding the crap out of them. Can I get that little $5 you owe me, man, for the past 5 years? You don't let it go. So how come black people need to let $17 trillion of free work go? Huh? You utopian blacks. It doesn't matter because God, all people were oppressed. So were they oppressed by white folks for 400 years? Sold off, raped, sodomized, their culture and their name, their language, ripped away from them? Huh? Was that done to the Jews, Italians, white folks in England? Hell no. It was done specifically to Africans enslaved and kidnapped and brought over here. Enslaved when they brought in America. Well, they was made slaves all over the Caribbean and all that. You know who they need to be suing? Those Africans in the Caribbean. They need to be suing the French in Haiti. They need to be suing Spain. But we're suing America. We're demanding America. Because we're over here. And America needs to pay its debt to those enslaved. And guess what? How y'all think Harvard and Yale got to have damn near $500 million in their endowment? You think they got that many benefactors? Y'all kidding me, right? Howard, Stanford, Yale, UC, University of Southern California, all these folks got billions of dollars in endowment. Grambling State University got $4.6 million. I think something like that. I think Howard got about 100 million. That is something for HBCU. I think what's the little black college down there next to Tulane? Dillard got about that much. That's something. But these white schools who benefit off of insurance that was taken out on slaves and paid to the slave owners. Did y'all know that? Once they brutalized them and killed them, they were given money. When slavery is over, the slave owners were given money for property loss. Did y'all know that? All these insurance companies, Aetna, Mutual of Omaha, you name them, State Farm, they all got billions of dollars off of black bodies. But you motherfuckers talking about everybody was oppressed. Are you stupid? Yeah, they were inconvenienced. The enslaved African in America was oppressed. And for those of you who sit around and say stupid shit like, y'all sitting around here waiting on reparations, y'all could be doing this first of all, motherfucker. Nobody black is sitting around waiting on no damn reparations. As we can earn college degrees, as we open up businesses, as we get married to have children, as we continue to live our lives, we still recognize there's a debt to be owed. You arrogant, snide, cowardly son of a bitch. How dare you? Just say you scared. But even if you utopian blacks, you multicultural blacks, you integrationist blacks, you multiracial blacks, you blacks, even if you don't want the reparations, fine. But what I will not do is sit back and let you be condescending because you scared. They are coming. And I bet you, as soon as if you identified as one of those descendants of enslaved Africans in this country, I guarantee you ain't gonna say, no, I'm a utopian black. God gonna take care of all of this. Or I'm an intersectionist. I'm a multiracial. I'm a multicultural. I'm a diversity inclusion black. So I'm gonna turn that check down. No, you motherfucker. While you talking smart to people like me and others, many others who are fighting for, who are demanding, who are expecting reparations to be paid, don't you accept the check when it comes to your mailbox, all right? Or you need to get your sorry behind on social media and say thank you to those folks who gave their lives, their livelihood, so you can still benefit. And that's what bothers me about you. Well, ain't got nothing to do with me, blacks. Or I'm too busy living my life. Y'all around here worry about reparations. Y'all need. That what bothers me about you, blacks. Y'all sit here and let us do the heavy work. Yeah, I say us. Because there's a price to be paid when you stand up, really stand up for God. When you stand up for what is right for you when you black. Yeah, that's the price we paid. So the least you can do is close your mouth and just say thank you. I'd say thank you to say thank you to Nat Turner. Say thank you to Harry. Say thank you to all those nameless black folks who stood up so you can sit down in your luxury and all your rights and criticize those who, I guess you believe, offending white folks today. You make me sick, coward. Whenever you say stupid shit like, y'all know why y'all talking about reparations, y'all ain't gonna never get it. That's what they said to Nat Turner. That's what they said to Harriet Tubman. That's what they said to Fannie Lou Hamer. That's what they said to Ida B. Wells Barnett when she was standing up, writing against the white power structure about the lynching and the murdering of black businessmen. Nobody stood up for those women. You didn't stand up for the men who stood up for you either. And I expect you little cowardly blacks to stand up for us today. But I will not sit back and let you talk all that shit. And because of these blacks that y'all call militant and they talk too much, they need to do this. And because of those blacks, that's why you're here to be doing well and to be able to mind your own business. Because of those blacks. So eat a dick, utopian blacks, multicultural blacks, intersectionist blacks. Eat a dick. It's your man Rico. Rico the Opinionist. Just sharing some thoughts on this Sunday brunch day. Check out all of my YouTube videos, my Facebook group videos. Check them all out. Please check out my short story. It's written in PDF format. Check it out for me. It's called The Greatest Pain I Ever Felt. Conversation with an absent biological father who never want to be found. It's only $10. Cash App your boy Rico the Opinionist. Please send me an email address with that Cash App, and I'll send it to you right away. Thank y'all so much. Enjoy the rest of your beautiful Sunday. I'll talk to y'all next time on The Next Opinion. Peace.